Since Mr. Infantino, dear friends, let me welcome you all here at the Kremlin of Moscow. First of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to the President of the FIFA for inviting all of you to Russia, to the World Cup in Russia. I think this is a good tradition that we may lay here for the future, because you, being the very famous football players and being very famous people for those who love sports in your countries and in the world, you are the expression of this kind of sports of football. That's the first thing. And the second thing, when people see you at the stadium, how do you talk to your teams, how do you talk to supporters from your countries and from other countries, of course, this inspires them to do sports and physical culture, and also this inspires and this creates a special atmosphere of good football fest and of the trust. And in this regard, I'd like to say that football supporters from many countries, well, of course, we are trying to do this as well, but many football fans and football supporters and Russian fans and supporters, they are those who create this atmosphere of fest and trust. And many of them, as you know, they're moving from one city to another city, and they're doing this very actively. That tens of thousands of people have come from different countries to Russia, tens of thousands of football fans, and they are creating this great atmosphere in our country, in Russia. And of course, they are now able to see how we are welcoming, and they see that Russian citizens and Russian football supporters, how they are glad to see all of them here, and how they are glad that they have come to our country with good intentions. And in this regard, I'd like to say that so-called people journalists, those who are working in their own capacity in social media, in social networks, they made their contribution for beating down many stereotypes about Russia, because people now see that Russia is a welcoming country, that we are happy to welcome all of those who are coming to our country, and to a great extent this was possible thanks to our football fans and football supporters. Well, it is well known that fans from many countries, they are different and they behave in different ways. I will not comment on anything right now, but our football supporters, they perceive those who come to our country in order to support their teams as friends, as those who pertain to this football family of the world. That's why they are trying to do all they can so that our guests will feel at home, as we've said already, so they're able to know our culture, our traditions of different peoples that live in the Russian Federation, because we see football games in different cities and different regions of the Russian Federation, and I'm quite sure that the overwhelming majority of those who come to us, they will bring good memories from our country and from this football World Cup, and they will come back here. And the World Cup, as I can imagine, well, I'm not the specialist in football, but still, as I can see, and of course I like this game, and as I can see, I think that the World Cup is doing well. Games are interesting, we have many surprises. Well, I guess that this is the best thing that we like in football, because the strongest always wins. And it depends on how the team will be prepared. It will depend on tactics against each opponent. But this is what makes football, this unpredictability. This is what makes this game so interesting. And millions of people around the world are just in love with this game. From 32 teams, we have now only 8. And you are experts of the world class. Maybe after the press will leave, mass media will leave, maybe you will tell me who will win the World Cup this year. But there is another component of this World Cup, and of any other World Cup. This is this overwhelming positive impact for the sports development, for the football development in our country. And in our country, as you see, people love football. And we do a lot, and we invest a lot into the infrastructure for the football development. And I'm quite confident that this choice of Russia being the country that will host the World Cup was absolutely right, and we are extremely thankful to the FIFA leadership for this and for those who voted for our country, because for us this is not just about football development. For us this is about development of mass sports, and football is one of the most important components of this sport. And this is important also for this young generation to make sports and do sports so that they would not destroy themselves, but quite opposite, they will be developing physically and mentally and spiritually. And we, of course, pay special attention, and we will be doing this for the development of our football heritage. Soon after the World Cup ends, we'll gather with all those that participated in the organization of our sports competitions, for all those who were engaged in the construction and the operation of these infrastructure objects and facilities, and we will elaborate a plan for being able to use these infrastructure facilities, transport facilities for the development of sports in our country. So I just want to thank all of you for coming to Russia. Thanks a lot for participating in this event, in this great event. And I now would like to give the floor to Mr. Infantino. Please, Gianni, you have the floor.
Спасибо большое. Thank you. Thank you very much, dear President. Well, just really a few words to thank you for having us here today, for having these great legends here today who have written so many emotional, exciting, incredible pages of the history of our sport, a sport that millions, hundreds of millions of people, probably billions or certainly billions of people love all around the world. And I'm particularly happy that we are here today, but that we are here in Russia during these months, because of course Russia is a big country, is an important country in the world, and I think that two things have happened in this World Cup. One is that Russia has become a true football country. I think at the latest, since the qualification of the Russian national team against Spain for the quarterfinal, the virus of football has entered into the bodies of each and every Russian citizen, from east to west, from south to north. In the whole country there was incredible celebrations, and this passion for football in Russia, together with what you were just saying, with the infrastructure you've built, the stadiums, which are beautiful, 12 stadiums in 11 cities are absolutely beautiful, and there are other stadiums as well in other cities in Russia, not only in Moscow, which show what can be done with football. And the plan that you have to not only organize an event, but make this a legacy for the future of Russian football is absolutely crucial. And one crucial element, in addition to stadiums, airports, infrastructures, transportation facilities, is the passion for football. And now Russia is a true football country. This is the first thing that happened with this World Cup. The second happening of this World Cup is that we all fell in love with Russia. All of us, everyone who has been here for a period of time now, has discovered a country that we didn't know. You were speaking about stereotypes. It's true. And when you come here, when you live here, when you meet the people in the street, when you see Moscow in its incredible beauty as it is these days, with all the lights, with all the colors as well of all the participants in this World Cup, walking around with their shirts, with the faces painted with their national flags, celebrating, partying, enjoying with the Russian people in an open, in a festive atmosphere. This shows that all the fears that some were trying to put on us with regard to this World Cup, well, not only they are not true, but it's actually the opposite that is true, and everyone who is coming, everyone who is visiting, everyone who is living football in Russia can see what great work has been done, of course, with your input by yourself, but all the population of Russia, the volunteers, I was told police people in the Red Square are smiling. When they are asked for some information, they are very friendly. This is great, and this is exactly what Russia is, and this is the new image that we have about Russia. So thank you, thanks to all the Russian people for having us here. We are enjoying incredibly. I feel like a child in a toy shop. I don't know how to explain it. And in addition to this, we have really a great World Cup from a footballing perspective, which the whole world is enjoying. So, thank you very much. On my behalf, on behalf of FIFA, on behalf of the whole world of football, and certainly as well on behalf of all the legends which are here in Russia. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for these kind words.
Who wants to take the floor? Don't be shy. Lothar, you're half Russian.
Oh, I'm half Russian, yes. My wife is from Russia. She's from the north, but I was growing up in Moscow, and I know Moscow long time before the World Cup. I was the first time in Moscow, 1979, with a junior national team from Germany on the Red Square. Completely different. In this time, I never was believing you can play football on the Red Square. With the kids, with the nation, with the president. It was very nice, and now I saw how Russia, Moscow, coming up in the last 10, 15, 20 years. It's an international city, international flair, great restaurants, great places, great history places for us. And, I like Moscow not because of the football only. I like Moscow because it's a beautiful international city. I feel like at home here, not only because of my wife, because of my relationship to Moscow. I come always with a smile to Moscow because I know what can I accept here. Beautiful people, and especially the World Cup is something special for Russia. I know the Russian loves football, but they was not happy the last 10, 15 years with the result from the Russian national team, especially 2 years ago. They was not playing with this passion, how they play now. And this passion from the players is going to the spectators and make this great atmosphere in the stadium. I am now 10 World Cups, 5 World Cups like a player, 5 World Cups like a journalist, like a fan. And this is one of the best World Cups what I saw in the last 40 years. Thank you, President. Thank you, Russia. Спасибо.
Спасибо. Thank you so much.